For those that don't know, I was born with a cleft lip and palate, and what that is when the mouth doesn't fully develop during pregnancy, so it leaves a gap in the mouth. There isn't any known causes to why it happens, but what causes could be drinking, smoking, stuff like that. And I guess today's video is about comparing myself to when I was younger to now being 29 with a cleft, how much life experience I have, how much I've grown. So early life experience, I would say that, from an early age, I wasn't really, I guess, fully aware of my cleft. Actually, not many people brought it up. I guess when you're little, you don't really sort of understand as well. So, I've had a loving and caring family. I guess I'm very, very grateful for that. I don't think it was until I got into secondary school, I think that was when people started to point out that I looked a little different. That's also when the bullying started as well. It wasn't really a mix of people, it was just mainly one person. I had to deal with that for about 2 years or so because he was sort of older. So he only had a couple of years left when I first started secondary school. And I guess you could say it was pretty relentless. Every time I would see him, he would try and do something, or try to hurt me, or try to make me cry. And I would sort of try and hide away, go to the IT room, or just try and find a group of friends that I could just hang around with, stay in one place. In year 7, we had this thing called the transition unit, which sort of self-explanatory really. Now you're sort of transitioning into year 7, into a big school. They first started off just mixing everyone together, different. It was mainly just a mix of people really, smart to sort of less smart people, and then halfway through they sort of just completely flipped it, and then they started doing the higher classes to the bottom classes. I think you had, obviously, Challenge was the highest, had Prosper, which you had Prosper 1 and 2, which is just below Challenge. And obviously you had Discovery, and then obviously you had the bottom set, which I was put in. I think until it was, towards the end of year 8, where I was also part of a unit thing that was called the Hearing Impaired Unit. So basically that was where people would go to and help people out with hearing problems. I had hearing problems back in year 6. I had hearing aids, I had grommet, stuff like that. And then my hearing got better, so I didn't need them anymore. But I think there was a teacher called Miss Davison, who was the head of that department. So I think she heard that obviously I used to wear hearing aids, stuff like that. So I was very fortunate to be a part of that, because that also helped me develop. At certain points, I think at certain classes they used to take us away and go and work in the hearing impaired unit. So at a certain point, we actually got to a point where we were ahead of the class. So eventually, I was put up to Prosper 2, which was like just below Challenge, the top group. So, I guess I can say I'm very, very thankful for them for sort of believing in me. So I'm very grateful for that. And I think the last couple of years, obviously I didn't pass all my exams. It was kind of a mess really, because I wasn't told about, especially my maths exams, because I think I only managed to do one. I wasn't told about the second one. So I think I didn't pass that. I failed my English. I passed GCSE PE, passed food tech, but I think later on I went to college, passed my maths and English then, so that was good. But I would say that, I didn't really like school. I think just the school in general, because I don't think they treated me as well. If it wasn't for like a certain group of teachers, I don't think I would have probably even continued to go to school. I think I bumped my first science lesson. If it wasn't for those certain group of teachers, I don't think I would be the. I think it helped me to develop into the sort of person I am today. So yeah, no, I'm truly grateful for them for believing in me. So yeah, that's sort of my early life experience. Sort of a mixed bag. I sort of had it easier to start with, and then it sort of got harder as the years went on. I'm in the process of working towards jaw surgery, so I've had all my fillings done. I've had a root canal done. The next phase is to have a tooth out. which I'm still waiting for. They said it could take up to 9 months, which has been past 9 months now, so I'm just waiting to hear from them. And then after that, it's braces for 18 months. And then it's a jaw surgery. And that's a whole process in itself. And then after that is rhinoplasty. It's where, obviously, I want my nose straightened a little bit, because it's sort of pointing towards the left. So that's what I want done. They said the whole process probably won't be complete until I'm like 35, which, I'm fine with. I know it's a very, very long, delicate process. And I guess during this process, I'm having to deal with just being patient, but also, dealing with the confidence side of things, having to wake up every day, just even, going back to school, having to battle with myself to think, look, I was born like this, I have to accept this and just try to make, the best of my life so far. I didn't have anyone else that had a cleft to sort of, talk to, or sort of, get any guidance from, so I sort of had to sort of do that by myself. And yeah, having to wake up every day, look at yourself in the mirror and think, I'm not like the average person, or, I don't look as pretty or handsome or whatever, that's a lot to deal with, as I've got older, it's got sort of better to deal with, but I do have those moments where I'm like, damn, I'm really struggling today with my confidence. And I guess, I've worked I've done retail, I've done security. And I guess putting yourself out there into the world, it does help with your confidence, but sometimes you get those people who just want to be, what's the word? Who want to take your anger out on you, what they want to take the piss out of you. I've had that on 1 or 2 occasions, and it really does make me feel like crap. It makes me feel like not human at all. Because I think all people with disabilities should be treated like normal people, because that's what we are. We're all human at the end of the day, and that's what sort of changed my outlook and my mindset. As I got more and more, online stuff like that, I started to see more of my sort of community, more people with clefts online, talking to them, listening to them, start to learn a lot from them, especially the older ones, they've got a lot of experience, a lot of life lessons. I think one of the things that I draw inspiration from is it Jonah Phoenix, the actor that plays the Joker in the recent Joker film. I think there's been 2 of them. He rarely, or I don't think he ever talks about his cleft really. He sort of just goes about his life. He's a brilliant actor. I think there was a thing with there's a TV host in the US, Wendy Williams, who took the piss out of him on live TV, and I didn't really see him react to that. He sort of just, and that's what I try to aspire to be, just to get on with my life. I know I'm born with something, that makes me look different, but I'm still human. So yeah, let's crack on with life. So yeah, that's when I sort of changed my mindset on things. So yeah, and then going into my fitness journey, that also helped with my confidence. So I wasn't really the healthiest, but I wasn't fat at the same time. But you know, I definitely was in like I wouldn't say a bad place, but you know, not a very good place. I would say, you know. But you know, over the years, you know, I've got better, I've got fitter, um, gained a bit of muscle also. Um, you know, I've run 2 marathons now. Um, you know, I've been in the Army Reserves. You know, I've done all that stuff, and you know, I'm proud of myself for going through all of that, because that's, you know, running a marathon is one of the toughest things you can do. Or let alone doing it once, you know, doing it twice as well, which is yeah. Being 29 now, looking back to when, you know, little me, you know, I'm definitely less angry at the world. Um, you know, I am more confident, even though I do have those days sometimes. Um, you know, I'm definitely more positive. And also, you've got to surround yourself with the right people too, who don't, you know, disrespect you, who don't, you know, take the piss, you know. Sort of find those people who, you know, love you for who you are, you know. And I'm very, very grateful that I have those people. Now I hope people can sort of draw inspiration from my story, like I did through Jonah Phoenix. So yeah, that's what living with a cleft at 29 is. Let me know what you think of the video. Don't forget to leave a comment as well. And yeah, thank you for watching, and I will see you on the next one.